Okay. I've had a hell of a time trying to figure out this Clipchamp and Microsoft uh, camera app doesn't have audio by default. So this is my third time recording this, so I apologize. Um, I started this channel because I've had a lot of I don't know, thoughts about being laid off. You go from being a full-time person at a corporation that you've worked with for about 13 years, and then you get told your job is no longer needed. So I started doing journaling way before this and some self-help stuff in my free time. But the first one I like people to start out with is getting their finances in order before you do any mental health stuff. Because really, if your finances aren't in order, your mental health seems to kind of slip. At least did for me. So this one is "I Will Teach You to Be Rich." It's a journal. There is a book by the same person. He has a Netflix series. He has a whole entire website, which I posted in the previous video that didn't have audio. I really recommend doing the journal. It helps you, you know, figure out what you want out of money, where you want to spend it, your beliefs about money. Is it normal to talk about money, and things like that? And it was really great to have someone just walk you through writing your own money rules. Really is what this is, and so it's just like a journal that you can just write in. It's really great. And if you have any other questions, you can always contact me and leave a comment. This is a really in-depth book. There's about almost 200 pages in here. I haven't even finished yet. I'm almost on the last part of this book. Um, and then I took out a loan from Microsoft through my Fidelity 401k to help pay off my credit cards. So I actually had some extra money, which is really nice. And I paid that back through my paychecks. I'd recommend that one any point in time. The next one I used right after I got laid off, I think it was in May or June, I bought this Martha Beck, Beyond Anxiety. I've had anxiety for many, many years now. I've just learned how to cope with it. This book is a great way to see the scientific side behind anxiety and how to use it, and how to like name it, and then also how to get rid of it a little bit more so you can be more creative. Because most people who are in the IT field have a lot of anxiety and they're not as creative. At least for me, that seems to be the case. So I really like this book for the science behind it and the steps, but I will probably do a separate review of this book and the steps that I liked the most. Um, and then the Mel Robbins Let Them theory is about just letting people do their whatever they want. This is for adults. Friendships go away, relationships go away. So it's really about letting go of a lot of the theories about like, is something wrong with me? Am I the reason why my friends don't hang out with me anymore? Things like that for feelings that would be like self doubt. And this is really great for that too. Um, Most adults, they don't know how to channel their feelings like a little 12-year-old inside, is what she says. So it's really great for anyone who is very much concerned with relationships in general. And then the self compassion, The Proven Power of Being Kind to Yourself by Dr. Kristin Neff was one my therapist recommended. I didn't like it as much as an audiobook form, so it would better in an actual book form. Spotify Premium has a lot of these books on audio for premium for free. So if you like doing audiobooks, I'd recommend that. I like a combination of audio and physical books personally. So you can check that one out too. So it's my thing has been self-compassion and being nicer to myself as I go through interviews and trying to find how to get back into the workforce when I've been a senior for so long. It's hard to show people my work that I did at Microsoft for 13 years. And then What Confident Women Do, Daily Challenges to Set Boundaries, Establish Self-Worth, and Crush Self-Doubt by Kate Richards. This is more of an audiobook and I don't know if I can find a physical book on Amazon, and there's not really much on the web besides a review from Goodreads that I could find, at least with a quick search. I really liked hers. I do a lot of her journaling stuff. She recommends journaling. A lot of these self-help books will recommend journaling. That's pretty much what that journal is for I Will Teach You Rich too, is journaling. Like, what are your beliefs on money? What would you like to spend your money on? What are your money goals? Like all those types of things. It's really great. I just journal all the time. I had this book since May. I just journal about everything. I've done journal prompts now from What Confident Women Do, instead of just writing down random prompts because I kind of run out of time with a new puppy and I don't always have time to journal everything, but I still want to be grateful and still, dump my thoughts onto paper. That helps me get out of my head. And my therapist recommended journaling because, you sit there and you have all these thoughts, then you can't go to sleep and you can't function because you're constantly thinking about all these things you have to do or all these thoughts that are consuming you. And if you write them down, you at least get those out. And that seems to help people a lot with their mental health status. So I'd recommend buying a blank journal. You don't have to do blank journals. There's tons of journals on Amazon. I had one in particular that used to do prompts about how I'm feeling that day, what my energy levels were, what I'm grateful for. So there's some that are really great to start out with if you want to. Otherwise, if you feel like that's too much, just buy a blank one at Barnes& and Noble on Amazon and literally just start writing down anything. Or you can use your computer if you want to, like OneNote or like a notebook. It doesn't really matter how you do it. Get it out of your head. It really helps. And then Mel Robbins has another book called The High Five Habits you might have heard about. It's called Take Control of Your Life with One Simple Habit. So she wants you to high five yourself in the mirror every single day to make yourself feel better about yourself. Sorry, my nose is terrible today. It's been really bad allergies. Anyway, she talks about doing this and talks about like what she went through and her kids go through and examples of like how we're so self-deprecating. We talk down to ourselves a lot and how that doesn't help you in the long run. A lot of these books will go through all those things too about how to talk to yourself in a better way. Like, I love myself. I accept myself for who I am. Those types of prompts. So I'll probably go through some more of those in a later video once I have a good kind of like idea of what I want to put out there and what seems to help me. I'm trying to get into that. I've been doing a lot of meditation too on Headspace app, which I used to get for Microsoft. It's great to have self-compassion, self-esteem meditations, and they usually aren't very long. They're like 10 minutes. And then otherwise, anything with meditation seems to help people reground. I recommend starting with just like a breathing technique, like breathing in for 4, holding for 4, and exhaling for 4. It's called box breathing. I don't do it very often, and I probably should. There's also some other stuff you could do with movement. You could probably find it on YouTube and just be like, I want to do meditation with some movement. You can do that too. There's some meditation with walking if you don't feel like, sitting and just sitting with yourself and breathing. You don't have to do that. It just helps your nervous system calm down. Another thing I was taught to for anxiety, if you get really overly anxious, you can splash yourself with cold water, and that'll actually help you stop your nervous system from freaking out. That was from another therapist that I had too that told me to do that if I get really overly anxious. The other thing I started to do is I went to a PCP who actually did a mental health evaluation on me, and I'm on antidepressants currently just because of my adjustment depression from going from having a full-time job for the last 13 years to not having a full-time job and worrying about money and what to do with my time. So, yeah, that's kind of the spiel that I wanted to share. And if you have any recommendations or comments on what you want to see, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep putting out content that I think is really relevant and what I thought has helped me. And I hope you guys get as much out of it as I do.